So, hey, hello, yeah, thank you for doing, wanting to do an interview with me.
That's my pleasure.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Anthony. I'm a solo developer. A studio called Windybeard Games, and I make video games. That's me.
Wow, you do that all alone?
All alone, yeah. All alone. Actually, I have a good friend who does the sound and music work with me. But other than
Okay,
that, it's just me.
okay, that's really lonely.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting challenge, that's for sure. But I enjoy it.
Well, we are talking about two of your games today, that is Sweezy Gunner and Geo.
That's correct. Yeah.
Are these the first games you made?
First commercial games, yeah. So Sweezy Gunner was my first sort of steps into selling a commercial game. That was quite a few years ago now, 2014 I believe. Geo is something I've been working on for the last year. That's due to be released in January. Before that, I had a series of small games that never got finished and never got released. The standard, unfinished games library that I have.
Okay, well, you need to finish them.
I know. Well, they're the sort of the games that didn't quite work out, or they were a bit too ambitious. I did start a game called Kingdom Lost. It was called. It was a large RPG dungeon crawler, which I may revisit. But it was a huge game. It would have taken me probably the best part of half a century probably to make that. So I had to put that one to bed.
Yeah, you could try to make that one smaller.
Yeah, I have ideas for it in the future. There's big portions of what I made that could be easily placed in another game. But that game itself was very large. But there was a lot of good work I did in it, in my opinion. That I will reuse. I don't like to waste work, if you know what I mean.
I get what you mean.
Mm.
For what platforms have you developed these games?
So at the moment, Sweezy Gunner was designed for PC, and that's as far as it went, just PC. With Geo, to Geo's PC game as it stands now, obviously I'm going to be busy updating it, patching it, etc. For the next few months. But if it does well, then I will be considering other platforms. I've considered a mobile version of it, but that would take some work to change how it runs and how it actually plays out to make it more mobile accessible. I have considered a Xbox One port for it, but obviously that's a future consideration. It's all about the PC at the moment.
Okay, well, there is at least a consideration.
Yeah, they're there. I'll see. I'll have to see how I get on, and work from there. Yeah.
How do you like each platform?
I'm a big PC fan, big PC gamer. I like all platforms really. I'm a big Nintendo fan. So I have a Wii U sitting next to me. Will be getting a Switch, and that's something I'm very much looking forward to. Mobile is mobile. It's an interesting market, interesting games. There's a few companies on the mobile market that I do actually really like. But yeah, PC mainly.
Okay, what type
Yeah.
of education have you done?
So, in regards to video games, it's all self-taught, passion really. I did in college sort of art and some computer science in there when I was there. That was a long time ago. That was and none of it game related. It's all just something I've done since I was a child. I've been obsessed with video games. I remember being a child and drawing levels for Sonic and things like that, and just spent my time learning and trying things out and working hard to the point where I can make a game. really.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. You know, it's the way the industry is now, and the software that's out there, and you know, there's lots of stuff to read on the internet, and videos to watch, and books to read that, you know, you can teach yourself most things nowadays with the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's something you want to do, you know, passionately enough, then there you go, you can do it. And that's how I did it.
I think most people did it like you did.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, you just keep doing it, and each game you make hopefully gets better than the last.
Yeah.
And that's me. Yeah, that's how I did it.
Most people did it like you did it.
Yeah.
That's the fun fact about that question.
Mm. Yeah, it's I talk to people on the internet and other developers, and you know, they're all the same as me, most of them.
Did you use an engine like Unreal or Unity, or did you fully script the game yourself?
I use an engine called Fusion, which is made by a great company called Click Team. I'm a big advocate of their products. You know, they're great guys. And the programs they make and the software that they've released is really good. I can't recommend them enough. So that's what I use. That's what I use to make Sweezy Gunner and Geo, and that's what I'll continue to use. I have looked at the other engines, and they're great, obviously. And I've tried to teach myself hard code, you know, and scripting, but you know, it's just something that I'm going to have to spend the time really trying to get to grips with. But until then, you know, Fusion is a great product, and that's what I use.
Okay, what was the biggest challenge in producing these games?
So, the biggest challenge I would say is there's obviously any developer out there would appreciate that there's a monotony to making a video game. That's what challenges me. So you have small jobs that you have to do hundreds and hundreds of times over and over. That's where the real challenge is, to push through that. So for example, with Geo, I've created 96 crew members that you can hire and find and unlock. So I've had to design 96 crew members, which doesn't sound that bad, but when each crew member takes 2 to 3 hours to design, and then a couple more hours to input their stats and their upgrades and things like that, you're looking at hundreds of hours for just crew members, you know. And then when you spread it out through the entire game, you've got all the other aspects that have to be repeated over and over and over, and that's where I see the biggest challenge. But that challenge is something I really enjoy doing. You know,
Okay.
when you see it all as a big finished product, it's really satisfying.
Yeah, because then it's a working game and that you can actually play.
That's it, yeah. So you know, you have the really exciting parts when you start a new product in a new game, and you're designing where it's going to go and what it's going to look like, and that's really good. And then when you really get into that development, and you realise that you have to draw 200 rocks because that's what your idea dictates, that's when you realise, you know, that's quite a ladder to climb. But when you're done with it, it's great to look back and see what you've done and you've achieved, and it's a good challenge.
So you designed 200 rocks.
Well, for Geo, I designed 120, essentially, 120 rocks with their own densities and values. So that was quite a challenge.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of work designing
I know,
rocks.
it's an interesting challenge. I've explained it to people, and it sort of ties in. There was an idea I had when I started making it that I sort of thought to myself, if I could make it interesting to find a new type of stone, you know, if I could try and engage the gamer enough to think, oh, that's cool, I found a new type of mud. Yeah, that's sort of one of the things I was aiming for with the game.
Okay.
And, it sounds strange, but
It kind of does, but maybe when I play it, I will search for all the stones.
I hope so. I hope you'll get all excited when you see a new type of mud you've never seen before. That was my unusual challenge for that game.
Did you get any help from the industry to develop and promote these games? mostly on Sweezy Gunner since Steel isn't out yet.
With Sweezy Gunner, I had a little bit of help with promotion, but not a lot really. It was my first game, so I sort of just released it and hoped for the best, which is not a good idea. I'll tell you that. But it worked out quite well. You know, I still do work on it, but mostly it's all down to me and my friends and people who enjoy my games. You know, they talk about it. Like I said, it's just me who makes the games, but my good friend who does all the sound, Neil Stevens, his name. He helps out. He's a really good guy. He's also passionate about these games. So it's just get it out there as much as I can, you know.
I get it. Did you notice the decline from making money for indie games in the industry?
Personally, no. For me, it seems to be the other way. The more I put out, the better it gets. You know, I think the indie market is interesting at the moment, especially with what Steam are doing. You know, that they've made it very easy to release a game, very easy to release a game to a very large market. I don't think there's been a decline for products that are well made, but obviously, you know, any game's a game, and I'm happy to see anything on Steam personally. I think if it's a game and someone's released it, if someone wants to play it, then it should be there. I think it's a good thing. But there's also a lot of games that are made quite quickly. You know, they may not have a lot of substance behind them. They're just quick fun games that probably used to be more on like a flash site and things like that, and they probably don't make a lot of money, which may be seen as a decline, but from my personal experience, it seems to be going well, and I hope it gets better in the future, to be honest.
Yeah, you need to make an actual living from it.
Well, that's it, yeah. So I've gone, well, this is it, yeah. It's an interesting time for me. I've just taken my first footsteps into full-time game development, so Windybeard is now my only source of income as of 2 days ago. So 2017 is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, you quit your job for this.
I did. I quit my job. I didn't quit my job for Geo. I quit it for Windybeard. Obviously, I'm going to put a lot of effort into Geo, but I sort of feel that the time I can spend and should be spending making games would be much more effective. Because there's lots of things I would love to attempt making games that just isn't possible doing it part-time, you know, and doing it in my spare time. There's lots of things that I wouldn't even consider. So that's exciting for me. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, hopefully you can make a lot, because now you have a lot more time.
I hope so. Like personally, the money is secondary. You know, if I can just have enough money to survive, then I'm happy. You know, if I'm making games, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, as long as you have a food and a PC, you're fine.
That's it. As long as I've got my PC and I've got some food, and I'm happy. That's all I need.
Same as me. I buy a lot of food and PC stuff and games, and that's all.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Yeah. And hopefully one day just the PC going for in the future. Yeah.
Oh, I need to put that PC in the house, otherwise it will get wet when it rains.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. What type of games do you play in your free time?
So, like I said, I'm a big Nintendo fan. So I play pretty much anything on the Wii U that comes out. I try and get hold of. Big Splatoon fan. That was good fun for me. I play a lot of Smash Brothers with my brother. That's always good. And obviously some PC games. So with the Steam sale, I've just picked myself up Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10. Give those another playthrough. Love those games. But in regards to sort of indie games, I'm a big indie game fan. So one of my favourite games of all time is Risseteer. I don't know if you're aware of that game. It's a great game. It's weird, strange game, but I would recommend that to anyone. And I play a lot of Factorio.
I know Factorio. I don't own it, but I have heard of it. A friend of mine has it.
Yeah, I can't recommend that enough. That's a really good game. I've never played anything quite like it. That's,
okay.
That's a great game. And I think before that I was playing Stardew Valley quite a lot.
I do own Stardew Valley.
Yeah, that is a fantastic game. Fantastic game.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did it take to create Sweezy Gunner?
Well, Sweezy Gunner took, I think it was about 2 years, maybe 2.5. But it was obviously this is when I was that was in my part-time, sort of in my spare time. I was making Sweezy Gunner. But I'd say all in all, it took around 2.5 years. I had a couple of different versions throughout that time. Changed quite a bit from start to finish. But yeah, 2.5 years, something like that.
And how long did it take to create Geo?
Geo is around, I think it's just over a year I've been making Geo. Because I learned a hell of a lot from making Sweezy Gunner. A lot of stuff I learned, which means I could have sped up the development time on Geo. Plus my obsession with game development increased tremendously. So the amount of time I was spending in my spare time making it was pretty much all of it. So yeah, about a year.
Don't you have a family?
I do. I have a wife, and she's very understanding. She's happy that this is something I love. I make time for her. We do the usual things, but instead of I don't watch TV, I don't do that sort of thing that a lot of people do. I'll start making something, or I'll start designing something. Even when I go on holiday, I'll take sketchbooks and things like that and start designing the next game or the next idea and things like that. So I don't. My spare time is making games. Things people do to relax. I don't do. I make games. That's how I relax.
Well, I'm so glad I'm not the only one that doesn't watch TV.
Yeah, no, I see it. There's very few things on TV I will watch. Very few things, because I don't feel like I'm achieving anything. I'm just watching something. Whereas if I can program something or design something, there's a sense of achievement and creation and progression all the time. It's great.
That's a better thing to do.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, I am out of questions. Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah, check out Geo. It's being released end of January. It's an interesting game. It's a very colourful game. I like games that are sort of colourful. I think that's from my Nintendo fandom. I'm a big fan of colourful games. Geo's out there. It will be released end of Jan 2017. And I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. Well, then this was it. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, take care.